Yo. LT, we back again like we've not left.
Strizzap. Yeah, we back in the building.
What's goody? What's real good?
Man, you know what it is.
I mean, I'm still waking up from what happened on Sunday, man. I was napping. I was told there was a fight, but...
There was in the undercards. There was a couple fights in the undercards. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about that, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into the shits right now. Let's get into it.
What we gonna start with? Ocho Cinco?
Let's talk about Ocho Cinco versus Maxwell.
Okay.
What's your take on that, man? I was texting you and FaceTiming you in that whole that whole exhibition where nobody wins.
That was a 4-rounder.
Yep, 4-rounder. 4-rounder, man.
You know, I like Ocho. He was trying to be technical, trying to work that footwork. It was a little, you could tell he was thinking about it. It wasn't like natural per se.
Yeah.
But
I would say I was impressed for the least part. Like I was impressed because fundamentally you could say he was disciplined, but again, and I've never fought in a ring or that type of setting where adrenaline kicks in, and maybe even if you've been training, some of that stuff goes out the window. Yeah. He looked like he was timid, especially whenever dude was countering, while most boxers dance through the punches and, you know, he hits and he's like running. He's like taking off. He has a good hit instead of planting and, you know, slipping. And even if he's getting caught, man, you can eat something to get your counter. But the reason why I think even he got caught in the last round is because he threw some good ones. Dude kept his hand down. Of course, you could tell he's a bare knuckle style fighter, and you know, walloped him with the overhand because dude was not anticipating it. You know, it's part of fighting, man.
And so I think he was paying too much attention to the mechanics and not actually like feeling the fight out. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, fighting is like dancing, and sometimes I feel I've not been in that. I've never put my feet in that type of fire, but I feel like if you're timid, I mean, you could get caught or you could survive the fight, but I don't think your best performance will ever happen when you're that timid. And I would say he was not timid. He had some good shots. He had very good jab leading into his crosses, and he had a good jab hook where he's like, ha, ha, you know, and I mean, he looked, for a 40-year-old, man, like, dude was looking good off his feet, man. But of course, the computers had to compute and the Twitters had to Twitter and the internet had to internet. He became a meme.
You know, hey, it is what it is. It's destiny. I feel like Maxwell was kind of like, you know, for the most part it was an exhibition, but he kind of got tagged a couple times and was like, I gotta let him feel this without really like mushing his face all the way in. Right. I feel like that's what that hook was about in the fourth round.
I heard his corner man say, "Why you letting this football player attack?"
You know,
why you letting this football something of that?
That was some get back right there.
Yeah, man.
I'll put it like this. You know, don't want to spend too much time on it, but I give Ocho Cinco credit for trying. Right, he's never been afraid to try anything. He tried out to be a kicker. Like he tried out for
the Wizards. What they used to be called the Wizards, but now they're Sporting KC.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, he's very brave. He's a brave dude. You could tell he's a dog.
Hey, listen. If I go over the middle, and I got to go over the middle against Ray Lewis twice a year, or that entire linebacker core. Right. Hey,
man, shout out to him, man. Shout out to all the people in Miami. Man, I'm proud of him. Let's hold off for the main event of the day. Let's talk about what happened prior to that. Yeah. Let's talk about heavyweight boxing, and in this case, we are talking about, I think, WBO heavyweight boxing, and we're talking about Bragdon Dino versus Daniel Dubois.
All right. I mean, I think this conversation.
We already guessed that he's coming.
This conversation to be done just as fast as the fight was, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. You said it. You've seen him work. He's a big dude. Yeah, I didn't know he was that big.
Absolutely,
Dino's a big dude, and I thought Dubois was big, but he looked small. I mean, not small. He's 6'5", but relatively, he looked not as
his fighting style isn't that of a larger stature man. He wants to get inside.
Like brick built. Yeah,
they are not fighting.
He looks like King Kong. Actually, he has the same build as a King Kong. No, I say King Kong, but
kind of younger, right?
I'm talking about Ortiz.
Yeah,
that's type. You stand next to an Ortiz. That's when you realize how big he is. But in the ring, he doesn't look towering because he's just a block. He's a fridge man. He's a block of a man.
That was a good comeback fight for DeBoer.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he's back. He's back in that mix of prospects of people that, and he has time to develop. I mean, I hate when people just put on this catapult and project it to, this is the next big thing, and that's why you said it the best about a person like a Jagba. Like, let him work his way there. Like,
absolutely.
Let him catch even an L. Like, sometimes when you have that type of power, you need to catch an L to know what it is to not depend on that and not think.
I ain't gonna say that, but you need appropriate tests. You know what I mean? Just there needs to be a development, and unless your trainer is out for the money grab and they want to rush you up,
right.
But,
do you think Floyd Mayweather skewed the idea of a fighter with that protecting the O? Because
absolutely,
all my favorite fighters, sometimes they went into fights and it was a lesson, and this chase of perfection and this cherry picking and this, stylistically matching up to kind of highlight you, kind of, it takes away the whole idea of a Rocky or of a Muhammad Ali who was, beaten, and then, we liked him because he went through this trials and tribulations to become who he is. But excuse me, that was the reason why I used to I like that story of what he's gonna do now, and now this new idea is dog, I'm gonna lose my endorsements. I'm not gonna fight for the next few months because now who wants to fight me? Because now everybody's just walking over me, or they're gonna use me as a ladder to get to that guy. Because now I've lost my chance to even defend my belts like Andy Ruiz. It's that I don't know. I'm just going off on a. I'm moving away from our notes, but I'm going into the weeds and stuff. But what do you think of that? Do you think the Floyd Mayweather effect is really playing a psychology game on these new fighters and how they want to protect their O's?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody wants to protect their O regardless, but it's the manner that you do it.
Right.
So
do you think more fights are losing the excitement because somebody is reserving and somebody is keeping, people are becoming now distance fighters when they don't even have the reach. So what they're doing is working on their footwork so they can keep that distance where, back in the day it was more like the Mexican style, we gonna get close to each other and we gonna get busy and the best person wins. Or is it the smarter way because Floyd told us he wanted his faculties? That's the word he used. I want my faculties.
Or maybe not even that. Or it's that the challenger has to knock the champion out.
True.
Or whether regardless, maybe they don't have a belt. Maybe they're just the A side. True. The challenger got to knock the A side out. In most cases.
True. So now it's leaning towards the record rather than the excitement and the show that you put on. I mean, I would say this. It's a small percentage of fighters that can fight with distance and be very exciting and not say that he's dancing or he's clinching or and people that understand the sweet science know that that's a great fighter. That the Floyd is amazing. But to people that watch Floyd, they're every time I watch Floyd, I feel like I'm being robbed. It's because he neutralizes all these opponents. And in his mind, it's not about I don't want to get knocked out. He says, I don't care about being knocked out. I trust my chin. You see me get hit by some Miguel Cotto. You see me get hit by Mosley. You see me get hit by Zab Judah. He says that he trusts his chin. The only thing he says, he doesn't want to get that constant hitting to the head because he sees all the other champions in their 50s and how they're reacting, their auto movement and their level of understanding. He says he wants his faculties. He wants to see his grandkids. And Floyd has a reason to that. But this new crop of fighters, they're not Floyd Mayweather.
Nah.
And they may not be as good as a distance fighter. So maybe they are. I mean, I'm not calling out any fighter, but I mean, anyways, let's move on to Floyd Mayweather. We talked about him. Should we talk about Jared Hart?
Yes, we should.
We talk about Badu Jack and all these other people before that. What do you think?
Badu Jack, shout out to him. We seen him almost lose an eye on the Pacquiao Bronner undercard.
He was fighting the guy from Haiti, Pierre something. I remember. But he cracked his skull open one time from the head collision. Yeah. But Badu Jack is an absolute legend.
He's a tough guy.
He's older. He's 39.
I may be mistaken, but the first time I seen him, I don't know if it was against one of the Durrell brothers, but I know it was on a Durrell card.
Right.
And that was my introduction to him. But yeah, he's a respectable fighter.
Oh, he's a good fighter. He's always been a good fighter. Very, very smart fighter.
He took care of business.
He's a smart fighter. I just think now, I mean, he's only lost twice, I think, in his whole career. And one of those people that loses twice and he's now doing all these type of exhibitions. Anyways.
He's kind of in no man's land.
We expected that from him. I didn't know his opponent. Some dude that was last minute that they picked from, I think he came from Peru or someplace. And he was known to be like a hard-hitting knockout, heavy, let's grind it out type of fight. And he was done.
He was food.
It was it was practice. Jared Hart, prior to COVID, prior to his last fight before this, shining. He was part of that group where we talk about the Chalos, that group. We talk about the Triple G's. Talk about that
the middleweight.
Yeah, I mean,
super welterweight, but more so middleweight.
He lost.
Yeah, he did again,
convincingly too. I knew he was lost. Started off very slow. Dude was bullying. I mean, one thing about him, he knows how to move with the punches. He knows how. He's a tough guy. I mean, but should I say what you said behind the scenes?
Sure.
You say he's becoming another AB.
He's, in my opinion. Now he doesn't have the mouth, right? But he's quickly approaching that status. Maybe that's a harsh comparison.
Yeah.
Somebody said he's on his way to becoming the Sean Porter. A Sean Porter. I don't know. I mean, like, Sean Porter's competitive to me, you know?
And Sean Porter's not lost a lot.
And I think Sean Porter is like...
And all these losses are like debatable.
Even better than...
Danny Garcia's loss, debatable. Him and Thurman, debatable. Him and Al Spence, debatable. Him and Kell Brooks, debatable. He's not been...
There's no convincing L there.
Where?
I don't know. I said there's no convincing L there.
Yeah, like it's more like he's a split decision king. Like, I mean... But his style is people don't catch on to that style. They don't understand it. They don't know it. It's just a different style.
Again, he's one of those people that you have to be the A side to get the decision, or you got to knock the other guy out.
Spence, him and Spence are friends even prior to that. The fight, Spence nobody wants to fight this dude. He's a bully. He's a smaller guy, but he's a bully. He throws you around the ring. I don't think he headbutts, but he does the whole clashing thing where he has his little tricks where you fight him. You've been in a fight with dude.
Right.
So
yeah, for her, I don't see any improvement.
Okay.
I need to see more. You had an interesting perspective from some more behind the scenes stuff though.
His father passed away.
Right.
I think during COVID. He went through depression. I think he ballooned up to like 217 pounds. Started working out with, I don't know if it's in Nebraska or Colorado where Bud Crawford works out.
They do.
I think they do Colorado. I think they do Colorado. So he was working out with him, lost all that weight, back in fighting shape. This is a tune-up. This was supposed to be light work. Let's get back to business, but it didn't turn out like that. So keep your head up, man. I know depression is not a simple thing. Man, I can only imagine losing a loved one, and then you lose your whole desire to fight because that was a guy on your corner, and that's a person that you used to do it to really impress. A lot of these guys have been fighting since they were kids, so naturally they're programmed to impress their father or impress their trainer. So, like, we saw that with Costamado and Tyson. I mean, the story goes on and on and on and on. So, my prayers, and keep your head up.
Yeah, I hope he does what makes him happy.
Right. So let's move on to MMA. We were all right in the room. Cam G was watching videos and he's like, "Oh, dude is gonna knock him out." Rosenstrike, first round knockout.
What is there to say?
Rosenstrike versus Augustus Sakai. We won't even talk about that. So let's go to that cool part of our show. LT.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
We didn't talk about...
Oh, crap. Let's talk about it, man. I told you I fell asleep.
Right. I wanted to fall asleep. I forced myself to watch it, regrettably.
Okay. Money May versus the Maverick right Logan Paul.
That sums it up. Money Mayweather.
I watched highlights. I was actually sitting on the couch. I fell asleep.
There were highlights?
I watched highlights. I mean, on YouTube, just to like see what it is.
Was it a total of like 26 landed punches?
Man, I don't know.
In 8 rounds?
It was a smooth money grab. The people that really won the fight are the people that watched it illegally, I guess.
Man, I was a little frustrated watching. Paul was jabbing a lot. About 3-4 rounds in, he was gassed.
I was told that he looked like he got knocked out from a hook, and then Mayweather like grabbed him and put like.
There's that clip is floating around, and at first I was like, nah, he's just leaning on him, because that's what I thought as the fight was happening. But then once I looked at it, I was like, yeah, he does look kind of limp there.
Yeah.
So
I was like, don't mess my money up. We need to have a fight too. We gotta go get that second bag. We gotta get that second bag. Let's make this look real.
It was very underwhelming. So
I mean, let's skip over that.
Yep. Bye.
It is what it is.
Next.
All right. So LT, who is fighting, man?
Who's fighting? All right. What we're looking forward to: UFC 263, Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori.
Deuce. The second one. Like we said, we won't even beat this horse. It's already dead. Israel is always challenged by good grapplers and wrestlers. But he's so long and he has pretty good takedown defense. I mean, it doesn't work when you're fighting a stronger, big, longer dude like, Jan Blachowicz and Blachowicz. And that didn't work. It works in this division, but when you have the same guy your size, Israel is like a 6'5" type of dude. He's a big dude. So I don't know. I would say Israel. This is the part of the show where we give results. So I'll go directly into the results. Israel Adesanya knockout, 3rd round. Because I think Marvin Vettori may surprise and want to stand up with him just to prove a point that this dude I could really get going his. You know how fighters are sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's going to fight smart, but if he does it this other way, I think Izzy has the skill package to stop him. What do you say?
Very interesting. I mean, if it comes to that, then I think it's a 1st round KO in favor of Izzy.
Yeah.
But if I make a prediction, I'll go 4th round TKO. Israel Adesanya.
All right. On the same card, we have Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. And these are like smaller fighters. I think this is lightweight. I have to search, but I go with Moreno. No. Oh man, Figueiredo had been going on a streak. But being the contrarian that I am, I think there's going to be a submission by Moreno in the 5th. If they're going for 5, in the 5th. If they're going for 3, in the 3rd.
So, a little context. This is a rematch. Their last match was against each other in December.
Yeah,
Looks like December 12th.
Figueiredo won.
It says majority draw.
Oh, never mind.
but you watched it and you thought that's what you took away from it?
From what I was picking up, I remember him going through a winning phase, and I'll go with Brandon Moreno, man, on this one. I won't even stress it.
All right, stress it. I'll go opposite. I'll take.
You have to say it, but it's figurado. We already talked. Okay, this next fight, we already talked about it. Nate Diaz, the return of Nate Diaz, the bad boy, and Leon Edwards. You said Diaz.
Yeah.
I said Edwards just to be a contrarian, but I know Diaz, one guy I've never seen get knocked out ever. I mean, maybe he's been knocked out, but whenever I watch him, this dude he's known for bleeding and just keeping. He just wins when his face is bloody. So I don't know. He's an interesting cat, but like we said before, Edwards. Moving on to Bellator, we already talked about what was going to happen in Bellator. You were leading towards Lima. Yeah. I was leading towards Azmazov. I'm leading towards that. We'll stick with that. If you guys missed our takes, go watch the last episode. Let's go into what we really wanted to talk about, really.
Yeah.
PFL. The introduction of the GOAT from boxing is making that big switch.
Greatest woman of all time.
Huh?
Self-proclaimed greatest woman of all time.
Not self-proclaimed. She's the greatest woman of all time. I mean, her and Tatiana Ali or someone else, they got to figure that out. For me, that's my Layla. Sorry, I said Tatiana. That's
Fresh Prince.
Layla Ali. My apologies.
It's all good.
But Carissa Shields fights Elkins on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, so 2 days from now. Thursday, and she's making her debut in mixed martial arts. What do you think about that? What you say?
So, of course, I follow her. I'm born in Flint, Michigan.
Right.
She's a Flint native, so I'm very invested. I root for her. I've been following the story since T-Rex. Anyway, she's making a switch because she got to get paid.
Absolutely.
And her words are, she's getting paid while she's being trained, while she's training to do MMA. Whereas in boxing, she has to wait for the bag, and many times the biggest bags are running away from her. So she's making this move out of necessity, and it's going to get her some eyeballs. But is what it is. I got faith in her hands. Been watching some of her training videos and watching some of her TikToks. It's like she got some coordination, right? So I got faith in her.
I think it will be unfair for us to make a decision from this until we see her fight. So I will make a decision to our next fight, because I think she signed a few contract for a few fights. So.
And see, that's the thing about
I don't want to make a decision because I've never seen her fight.
So this is a league. So they have like a season. So it's like kind of like a round robin season. So
yeah. So to be fair, let's not even call this fight, because I don't even know what the opponent is going to bring. So, and I need to do more research in that world.
I looked her up. She's got a losing record.
Okay, so this is like dust off, or not dust off, but tune up. Well, tune up. Let's see what you got. What can you do? Yeah. And then some person could be a legend for beating one of the greatest boxers of all time. So, right. I mean, there's something for both. So I'm going to definitely watch it. ESPN Plus Thursday.
Some people in the boxing community thinks that it could be a setup. So I don't know.
I mean, if it's a setup, then everything in life is based off timing. So let's see how it works. I mean, it didn't. We can say everybody. Jared Hurd. It was not the best timing for him to be on that type of stage. To display what he had to display before, the fiasco or the circus of Mayweather versus Paul. But moving on, Showtime Pettis versus Martinez. I lean towards Pettis. Showtime has been a legend in the UFC. Right. He fought a lot. I mean, he has a couple of L's here and there, but I don't know who Martinez is. I had to he doesn't have a Wikipedia. So I think Pettis is going to it's going to be a lesson, I think, here. It's going to be one of those Harvard, professor, grab your book, grab your pen, and let's see a real pro.
You think so?
A person who's
is he gonna play? Is he gonna play with his food?
Well, looking at this dude's size, this dude is like 6'1", while Pettis is like a 5'8" dude. Mm-hmm. So I think he's maybe slender and tall for that weight division.
So you think he got to chop the tree down?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Let's hold our thoughts for now. We're gonna take a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back with some boxing. Okay. Hey, LT.
Yo.
Who's fighting?
Who's fighting?
And we back again from the short break.
Yo.
LT.
What up?
We're transitioning to something else from the PFL. I mean, we talked about Clarissa Shields' debut.
Right.
We talked about Showtime Pettis.
Okay.
Let's talk about boxing.
Let's talk about it.
Shakur Stevenson. One of your favorites.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, you think that's the light in that division. That is that guy. That's that man.
Shakur is the light of the sport.
Oh wow! You think it's generational talent?
Generational talent, undeniably.
Olympian.
Got the pedigree. He's kind of, when you think about the Olympics, I think about Roy Jones. I think about my favorite silver medal, right? And that kind of.
I think Floyd is Floyd a bronze? I think he's a bronze. He lost in the Olympics, or he got cheated.
You know what I'm saying? So. I'm looking at, I just envision Shakur in tears, and I think that's going to fuel him through his professional career. I don't see him getting too big. Like, I don't know what the cap is. He might cap, like super welterweight is like pushing it for him, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think he's fighting in the featherweight.
Yeah, now.
In the featherweight.
Now.
But I think he has a frame that he could move over to a few divisions. He has a frame where he could bounce.
Absolutely.
He's not short. He's not like where, man, if you put on too much, a little bit of weight, he'll slowing up a little bit. You know what I mean? He has the physique to do. He's like a Haney. I mean, Haney has the physique to do multiple division and not lose his power.
And that's the thing.
Speed.
I don't know. It may be too premature for me to assess him. But the one thing that I can assess is that he's a technician.
Okay.
I don't want to make a judgment on his power yet but I think he's a break you down type fighter. And I think he enjoys that. Okay, so let's get into it. He fights this weekend in Mexico. He fights Jeremiah. I have to be slow on this. Nakathila. Nakathila. I don't know who this fighter is, but this is for the interim super featherweight. So for the WBO. Nakathila is from Namibia. Oh, okay. He's got one L, which came to. I seen it. Chuprakov. You know, this is like one of the hardest things about doing this show is you have to talk about international names. Yeah. And that's why people that watch us, you just got to be somewhat empathetic where we some of us know the fighters, but like just saying their names the right way. Right. We definitely need them to win a little bit more. You know, like the same way when everybody saw Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? They were not saying it right until he became an all-star. Exactly. But long story short, what do you think is going to happen? What's the outcome of this fight that's happening on the 12th? I mean, I already know you're going to say it's going to be a win, probably a knockout, right? I think he's got something to prove. Okay. And this might be that coming out party. I don't know if I can put a prediction on the round, but I think he wants to get a stop. Okay. I'll say round 7. Round 7, okay. I'll say fair enough. I'll say he's gonna have a stop. With that being said, with his skill set, I think he's gonna blitz him. He's gonna surprise him. He's known to be all these. The beautiful thing about all that crop of fighters, they're all different. We talk about a Haney, a magician with a jab, a magician with how he moves from distance. And then I talk about a Shakur Stevenson, way better than Haney in keeping his distance. Right. He's like a Floyd Mayweather, but
a little bit aggressive.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't say, okay, I may be, I don't want to hype, I don't want to put that on him, but he does have those qualities.
He does.
He's a phenomenal boxer. Clean like a whistle. He dances and he floats on that canvas. So with that being said, he's such a superior fighter that he's going to go through this guy from Namibia. This guy from Namibia is never going to fight anybody of that level. So
right.
I don't want to say he's never going to fight, but as of right now, this is the best competition that you're going to face. Stevenson, 5th round knockout. Probably even a TKO because you've been overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not a KO, but a TKO.
I think so too.
They're gonna stop that. Like
I think, and the reason I say 7 is I think he wants the work. I think he wants the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
just to like what this is gonna be an exercise. Like I just wanted to get, yeah.
You feel me?
So he's gonna play with his food a little bit.
Yeah.
Just feel him out. Okay, we're back on the circus stuff. We are back on the exhibition stuff. We have 2 legends, or son of a legend. I mean, yeah, he's a legend in his own right. We have Julio Chavez.
Wait till you see my face.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Wait till you see my face when you watch.
Not the Pops, Jr.
Right.
Versus Anderson Spider Silva in a boxing match.
Right. You go first.
I don't know what to expect. Just like the Carissa Shields fight. I expect Chavez to win it. I mean, he's a proven fighter. He has over like 50 fights or something like that. I mean, this is what's happening right now. You see
my posture changing?
I've seen that. And we kind of talked about this a little bit in the past, but hey, LT, the floor is yours, man.
Bruh. I hope Anderson Silva comes out like Emmanuel Augustus. That's what I hope to see.
Right.
If he can translate his UFC style to the boxing ring, I would love to see that. Now, my level of respect for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Okay. He's not his father. Definitely.
Man.
But he's a fighter in his own right. He has scrapped up a resume. He has a record.
Right.
Nevertheless, I have to come up with a result.
I hope.
What's happening in a
Anderson
boxing ring?
Silva comes out like Emmanuel Augustus and just frustrates the heck out of this guy.
But remember, Anderson Silva's greatest power, or his superpower, was distancing, and he's elusive, and he can kick your head off.
So let's look.
Kick you, like kind of kick you from a distance. So he's not going to use the kicking. So
right, he can't get hands. He also can't get kicked in the shin either. So
that's true. Oh man, that's actually that puts memories of. I saw that fight live.
Silva has a 77-inch reach. What does Junior have here?
How tall is he? He's 6'1"?
6'2".
Okay. Junior's about 5'11" at most. Chavez Jr., that is.
Reach is 73.
I've never seen Anderson fight. I mean, and I know this is a very stupid statement, people that are in the fight world. I've never seen Anderson fight with a jab. His hands are always down.
He's telling you, he's gonna come out dancing. He's gonna hit him with the side jab. He's gonna hit him with one of these. Wow.
Yeah, he's an orthodox. I've never seen him like kind of shell up like a boxer, or like have that discipline of like keeping that distance. Anderson used to fight like just he could knock out people on his back just kicking up. He's really a spider. Like he's just really. I don't know how that translates in a very marginalized combat sport where you cannot use all your Swiss Army knife. You can only use the champagne opening corkscrew, or not champagne, but wine. And now you have to fight and protect yourself with that thing.
I'm taking Silva.
Okay. I would say, I don't know, man. I don't want to call this, but I'll say it's going to end up with a draw or something. I'll say Chavez. Chavez will win there, and it'll probably be Silva got a glass. But he's been knocked out by just ferocious people. I mean, he has a strong chin. He's not glass. I take that back. It's gonna be a 12. It's gonna be, if it's an 8 or 12 rounder.
180-pound fight.
Oh, those are big boys, kind of. Chavez wins. I won't stress that too much. Let's talk about it, man. What fight do we have next? And this is a Silva fight is not this weekend. This is on the 19th. So what else do we have on that weekend in boxing?
All right. So now
some real fighters.
We get to some bigger names here. We got Jermall Charlo versus Juan Macias.
Charlo.
Juan Macias is 22-4, 2 draws. Juan Macias Montiel. Let me say the whole name. He is coming off a knockout win against James Kirkland.
Charlo. Charlo, like the same way you look at Shakur Stevenson, I think I like Jamel. I like Jamal, and I like Jamel. But I look at both of them easily. They came in a generation where you have to have a Triple G in there, Canelo in there. Who else is in that mix? Like, they came in a generation of active, legit lions, right? But regardless, they are a generational talent of their own. They're battle tested. One is lost, came back revenged. Yes, I'm trying to group them as a pair because they both are kind of a different type of fighter.
Which one's better?
I don't want to say that, man.
Which one's better?
The one that had the L is better. The one that lost is better to me. The one that still has a 0, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to see.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
I want to see him tested a little bit more. But what do you think? Am I making sense?
No, you absolutely. Yeah, that's the way that it was built. That's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And about better, man, like, to be honest, I don't even know who's better. Like, I just feel they've given us amazing knockouts as a group. Their knockouts is ridiculous. Like, the power, they have a little bit of showman in them too. I think they can get a little bit of the A-B showman. I mean, they don't really push the showmanship, but when you hear them talking, they're funny.
Right.
They have personality. When they was back in the day when they were playing stuff on their hair, like just doing stuff, running the whole way, or like a big fight, just, stepping into the ring, just doing stuff, like just do it everywhere. And I think it kind of slowed down a little bit, but that whole group of Texas fighters, man, they're special, from the Allspence, the Charlo brothers.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Them two out of Houston, out of Screwston.
Yeah. So I would say Jamal will knock dude out.
Okay.
I don't know what round. Hopefully it's before round 7.
That's what we expect. We expect.
But if it goes for the distance, some people just start putting on, after that round 7, some people become different. And if he was fighting like a Garcia or somebody, Garcia turns on the gas after that round 6, 7, like they become like, they go Super Saiyan. I don't know. I'll say Jamal Charlo.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
I'll take Jamal too.
Okay. Another exciting young one. Same day, and this is for the WBO lightweight. Teofimo Lopez versus Jorge Cambosas Jr.
Cambosas. So, Teofimo is another one of my favorites. He is a champion now. No longer a prospect.
Undisputed. Add that on there.
And then,
if they be long champions.
And then he beat the supposed
boogeyman.
The supposed greatest amateur of all time. So, I mean, I can't take that away from him because he caught this L as a pro, but beat him.
Yeah, he destroyed him.
Beat him. So,
bullied him, threw him around like he could do nothing. Lomo could do nothing with him. It's very convincing. I'm going with Tio.
Go with Tio.
Okay. I don't know if it's going to be a knockout.
It is.
Gets tricky in that weight category. Gets tricky.
Listen. Gambosos is 19-0. 10 wins by knockout, 9 by decision. His last 2 wins have been by split decision.
How many times has he lost by knockout? That's also another tell sign.
19-0.
He's not lost. Never mind.
So
never lost. Yeah. Tio's strong. So he has that knockout.
He's strong. He's athletic.
Very athletic.
You know, that's
coordination is ridiculous.
And that's what we don't always see in boxing. Sometimes you see these stiffs in the ring. No, he's athletic.
Talking about Triple G.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So
yeah.
Got an X factor to him.
I mean, I like Teofimo. Brooklyn, what's up? I didn't say it the right way. Not from there. I'm saying, yeah. Shout out to Brooklyn. Another Brooklyn fighter, man. I know Brownsville has a lot of fighters, man. I don't know if he's from Beds. I don't know where he's from. I don't know where he's from in Brooklyn, but from what I grab, he's a family guy. He's already married. He's like 22, married. His father is his trainer. He's like a boxing nerd.
I feel like his dad does most of the trash talking for him.
Right.
And Teofimo can hold his own.
Right.
So the two of them together, like double trouble.
Right. A lot of people were telling me when we talk about a Tio, he's very good. But if he has another hard hitter next to him, rather than a finesse fighting Lomachenko, where if he had like a Javante Davis who puts everything on the line, would that bring the best out of him? Because people really think he's one of the best, not only just because of his power, actual boxers, like IQ level, and he's just ferocious. He's ferocious. So, not taking anything away from Tank. Tank is ferocious. Tank is ferocious as you know the other word, but he is ferocious, and he's gonna be fighting soon. And we'll talk about it. But I think that's it. We made our picks. We had another great show. As you know, like, comment, subscribe.
Right.
Before I end, big shout out to the Majors clothing line, brothers from Texas. Drake me up with this one.
That's what's up.
Wear it one time for the one time.
Drip.
Little product placement. Shout out to Nike.
Follow the drip.
Shout out to Nike.
They're not paying for this. So
Nike pay for it, man. We doing a little bit of product placement slots. Just another week of who's fighting and LT.
Yo, strap.
Who's fighting?
Who's fighting?
Boom.